All right, we are back with another episode of the Good Time Podcast. We are here with our friend Xavier Ware. Everybody give it up for X.
The doc is in the house.
They need to
The
be
doctor himself. What's up, man?
Yeah, as per
What's up,
usual, we
y'all?
will. Yeah, as per usual, before we get started, make sure to head over to Spotify and/or Apple Music. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave a comment on this episode. Let us know what you want to talk about in the next one. So we're here with one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest drummers to be walking the planet at this moment. I know I'm gonna I'm gonna embarrass you, bro. I'm sorry.
Bless you, Doc.
But man, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, Tico, you got something you want to say?
Oh,
I'm doing good, man. Just chilling. About to go to South America to do some shows with Suicidal. So looking
yeah.
forward to that and
Let,
gonna just rip and run through some drums.
well, yeah. Let's talk about that. So, you recently got the Suicidal Tendencies gig. Congratulations, man. That's huge. There is a laundry list of insane drummers who have played for that band, and so will these be your first shows with the band, or have you already played one or two gigs?
I've played technically one gig with them, but it was shipwrecked, so it was a cruise ship thing, and we had two shows on the boat.
That's
So
right.
we've played twice, and this will be my third and fourth and so on with them this coming week.
Sick. I did Shiprock last year. It was a lot of fun. Here's my question for you. So, the people who are listening to this podcast, we've talked a lot about like hired gun gigs and learning sets last minute and rehearsals and all this stuff that like basically the general public has no idea about how this stuff works. Obviously, we all know it extensively. All of us have had to speed learn sets, all that stuff. But so tell us first of all how you got the call from Suicidal, and then second of all, how did rehearsals go? Did you rehearse? Did you go straight into a show without rehearsals? Like, give us the whole rundown on that whole situation.
All right. Long story long.
Go ahead, talk away,
I
bro.
was
This is what
doing
this is for.
I was doing some on my story. I put up that I'm doing drum recording remotely, so get at me. And a member of Suicidal, past member but great friend, he reached out to me and was like, "Is this legit? Does it sound good? If it does, I'll link you in with Mike." And I was like, "Okay, all right. It sounds great. No problem. Fire away." So he actually fired away, and I did a couple of things for Mike, and he liked the recordings. And not too long after, he asked if I wanted to be a member of the band, and I said, "Hey, why not?" I had just I was in looking for work at the time, so the job pretty much came with that recording opportunity over time, and I was able to take it.
So, you were, you don't have to get into too many details because we don't need to, we don't need to talk about business that doesn't need to be talked about. But like, you're on the Bill Murray gig. You're looking for other work, as any hired gun does. This is something that people do. You get this call, okay? You go, okay, great. I'm gonna take this gig. That's all good. And then back to the rehearsals thing. Did you guys like get in the room and jam? Did you go rehearse? Did you go straight into shiprock? Like, how did that all work?
Oh, we had 2 days of rehearsal before the gig. Was it 2 days?
Yeah, I thought you made a
Yeah,
post
yeah,
on your Instagram, right? You guys were chilling on the couch. I think
yeah.
you mentioned that you
Mhm.
rehearsed a couple times,
Yeah,
maybe.
it was yeah, I get them mixed up. It was two band rehearsals total altogether. And
And were
in
you,
between that, I was doing some recording for some stuff.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we'll give so when they hit you up, were they like, before the rehearsals, did they say, hey, we're gonna play these 10 songs on shiprock and just learn them and come to rehearsals? Like, how do you go about that process? Because everybody goes about this differently. Like, let's get into the nitty gritty here because this is the kind of stuff that people want to know about. Like I've done it
Yeah.
a million times. I mean, what do you ask for? Do you ask for the actual tracks? Do you ask for the playback? Do you ask for recordings of other drummers? Like what does your process look like?
Man, yeah. I asked for what the set list may look like, and after I got it, I just put them in a playlist and drive and practice and just listen to that playlist exclusively, making sure I'm nailing everything. Or if it's, original music, I'll just same deal but different app. But yeah, no, I ask for a set list generally if I can get my hands on that. And if I can't, then I'll do a deep dive and just shuffle whoever the artist is to try to get the best feeling for the music as a whole.
Did you spend more time listening to the songs before you went to rehearse with them, or like did you actually practice them on the kit at home? Like, what did you do more?
It was more listening for sure.
Yeah.
And the days I would go practice, I would, but that wasn't much because I was doing recording when I was in there. So that
You're
would take
listening to
most of
them
my
way more.
time. Yeah. It was a lot more earshed.
Wow. Okay, so do you okay? Because like I'm, because you and I are like entirely different drummers, right? Like you are like you can play anything, you can shred on anything. Is there a part of your brain that's just sort of like, all right, I'm gonna kind of get these songs down, the structure of them, and then I'm gonna just improvise a lot of stuff? Or are you trying to be really methodical about where your fills are going to land and, kind of how your playing is going to play out? Like this stuff like really interests me because, you can approach all of these different bands and situations differently.
Yeah. Up until this point, it was more of the latter where I'm choosing exactly where I want to put things, not necessarily thinking about what to play, but what phrasing would work best in this musical situation versus playing a whole bunch of whatever and calling it pretty. But in this band, this is the first time I felt like I can just learn the structure of the song and respect the music in a genre sense, but I'm allowed to be myself behind drums. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. I feel like we actually talked about this on a previous episode. We talked about this gig in particular, and like I just think that's so badass. Like I am really looking forward to watching the band with you on the drums because I remember watching Eric Moore play for Suicidal back in the day, and it was such a cool feel and vibe to kind of put on like basically punk music. Um,
Yeah.
and it's I just think it's badass. So, um, how old were you? Like, was there ever a moment where you decided like I want to be a professional drummer, or did it kind of just come naturally?
It's felt like it's been the whole time at this point, man. Like I guess it turned into the dream of being professional, maybe like pre-K kindergarten, but I've just always loved to play. I've just wanted to make it so whatever life looks like, I'm able to play, and that's what I do. And back then, that was, as long as my homework's done, I can play drums, or as long as I'm not being goofy in school, I can play drums. But now it's like I have to play drums to put food on the table and pay bills. So finding that balance of being able to play and what I do is, Lord, let me not get too far off. Um, I just always, it's always been there, just that love. And the fact that now I can do it, what we call professionally, is just a cherry on top. The
Do you
dream
ever?
of it. Oh, go ahead, Doc.
Oh no, well, I just wanted to because like you're so good at drums, dude. I just wanted to ask, like, let me see. And do you ever have a time where you sit down on drums and just you can't get anything out? You just like feel like you suck.
Yeah, all the time.
Right. Do you ever get
Yeah.
that, Xavier?
Yeah, I felt that way for years up until I'd say 2023.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, it's not a, it wasn't a constant feeling of like I suck, but like there was always the feeling of something's missing or something can be better or something's not adding up. And even though comments and people will say this is the craziest stuff I've ever seen and you're nailing it, dot, 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 all that, to me, it still was, something's missing. But
Mm.
the more I would sit and listen and I'd listen to what the people have to say as well, I learned to love my sound and love what's coming out. And even if the ideas felt stale to me, it's painting a picture to someone that's beautiful. So I need to latch on to that and let that creativity be the driving factor
Mm,
versus beating myself up about what's next. People
mm,
already like it. So until I hit that growth spurt or whatever's next, I should be happy with what people are already happy with and what also makes me smile. It's not
mm,
like I'm playing all the time and feeling like, dang, that sucks. That's usually only in the shed.
Mm.
So why is that beating me up when I'm about to play in front of all these people that came to see me? Because of one or two bad shed sessions? No, sir. Not
yeah,
anymore.
Facts.
yeah, not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so how did you grow up playing? Like, in what environment did you grow up playing in?
Um, I grew up playing with my dad as the MD, everything. And we played to, a church of congregation of maybe no more than 20 on a poppin' Sunday. And my mom led the praise team of that
Mhm.
church. It'd be like her and four other people. But did that for a while, and my granddad, rest in peace, he was a bass player, so we'd get up in the garage and I'd have my drum set up and we'd like play brick house and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, that's how it started. Then I went to school, and my elementary school teacher really dug that I cared about music and drums as much as I did. So she really pushed me to just keep that energy alive and, don't let anyone stop that. So by the time I got to middle school, it was like, oh, I can do band, but I had to do trumpet first for
Oh,
half
God.
of the year. And thankfully, they did percussion auditions early for the first time in middle school history. They auditioned percussion early, so I was able to finish out the year playing percussion. But usually, you're supposed to have all of sixth grade be wind instruments, and then at seventh and eighth, you introduce percussion. But the back half of sixth, we were able to do snares and concert bass and mallets. Thank
Did,
gosh.
did you ever take a lesson from like a proper like drum teacher aside from the school? Because dude, I've seen you play like jazz fusion stuff. There's a video you playing Crocs and doing this double bass like jazz thing on the ride, like outside of a. It looks like you're out front of a music shop. And then there's other videos of you ripping animals as leaders and like every genre possible. Like you're doing Buddy Rich stuff. Like who? How'd you do all this stuff?
Um, A lot of it came natural. The first teacher I can recount is a family member of mine, and he basically was, when I think back to those lessons, it was mainly just helping me read the music so I wouldn't end up not being able to read with all the ability. So that's what that was about. I had good teachers along the way. Like in high school, my music director was a percussionist at heart. So he was really on top of me about making sure things were clean. So while all the creative fun side of it came from experimenting and listening, I always had directors there making sure my buzz rolls were clean, making sure my doubles were clean, making sure, I can't just take all the credit for it being technically correct as well. There are a lot of cats who don't go to band in school and can run circles around people, But the little nitpicky things, it's like, oh, that's not that clean, but it's super
Mhm.
killing once you get a little older and figure it out. But I got all those lessons growing up, and again in high school I did marching band, and grateful grateful enough, my school was able to have DCI staff instructors for our teachings. So I had like a real deal Carolina Crown snare player, like helping get all of our hands right. And
Mhm.
he'd pull me to the side sometimes and like work extra just to instill proper technique. I had a lot of the teachers I had, really, they weren't really teaching me notes and rhythms as much as don't let this go to waste in notes and rhythms. Like, make
Mhm.
sure you know what you're doing, and that doesn't even have to be reading the page necessarily. Just make sure what you're playing has all the purpose in the world behind it. And marching band is very regimented. We all have to play the same thing at the same heights, so that helps. All you have to do is put that behind drum set, and boom, whoa,
Mhm.
dynamics. But nobody's going whoa dynamics all the time looking at a drum line, because that's just expected.
Of
Sure.
course.
But it's not rocket science.
Yeah, I've always said that I wish I grew up in a really small town that didn't. My high school was so small we didn't even have a marching band. I wish more than anything I had had access to that at that age, because I wasn't
Yeah.
about to join
Dude,
marching band
yeah.
when I was like
Such a
22
valuable
years
thing to
old.
learn at that age, like
Oh my
Dude,
god.
yes. I
technique
I
and
was lucky, man. I was really lucky. I come from small beach town, but our band was like the highlight over our football team. So
Oh, so
thank
sick,
God.
man. I'm
Like,
so
I'm
jealous of that.
I wish you could have gotten some of that too, bro. Because
Because
marching
it
band is just, it's a different ball
is.
game. It forces you to have to play in ways that make you uncomfortable. I mean, when I got into high school, and I laugh, but people do this seriously because they play left-handed. But like, I thought visually that playing left-handed traditional was correct. So I got into school, doing this when really you're supposed to be doing that, and that was
Mm,
very, very, very uncomfortable.
oh
And
wow.
it forces you to break down things from nothing, truly. I mean, you'll sit there and play eight on a hand for 30 minutes in the name of clarity, in the name of precision, in the name of you need to be clean. And you're sitting there, eight on a hand, sometimes 8, 8, 16, just, and you can't check out, you can't mentally go, you have to stay there the whole time. You get to apply that behind drum set where everything's in front of you. It's different, man. It's
it's
it's really different.
it's so different. I gotta ask this too. I just thought of this.
Yeah.
So I remember. So I went to a like a big college. I went to University of Washington in Seattle, right?
Nice.
And we had a real marching band, D1 college football, all that stuff. And I remember meeting people who were in the marching band who had crazy hands, but they were like dog shit at drums, like on a drum
Uh-huh.
kit. Okay. So what? Yeah, and
A lot, a
okay,
lot of them. That's the
and I'm
case.
not trying, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to hate or anything. I'm just saying that like that's what I saw. And then there's guys who are pretty good drummers who have like pretty bad hands. Like their hands can't really do a whole lot. Okay, so first of all, were you one of like how many guys in the or gals in the drum line were playing full kit? And were you already you sound like you were already playing full kit at that point. So like while you're in marching band, you're going, okay, I'm learning all this stuff. Let me just go apply it to a full kit and like just get even better at playing a full drum kit. And were there other folks in the marching band with you who were doing the same thing, or was it kind of split? Or like, I want to hear about this.
Oh wow. Golly, the high school days. I don't think back often. Let's see. A lot of the drum line were mostly hands based. They were on their instruments. Maybe they'd branch onto kit, but like, it wasn't that good. There was one guy that was pretty decent at kit, and he also was he would apply the same techniques and all that good stuff to marching and kit and vice versa. But I came in with a decent knowledge of drum set. So it was, it was just a technique thing I had to grasp,
Yeah.
and a driving factor as well. Back in the day, the other guy who could play kit as well, he was a year older than me, and we would shed and have a good time off site, but it would burn me up because I want to be in the A band and I want to be a
Mm,
part of the this and that, and high school was humbling. High school was humbling. I didn't My parents raised me not to get a big head, so I know I didn't go there expecting anything, but it hurt to actually be shut down when you ask questions. No one likes
mm,
to be told no when you're just being genuine, and
mm-hmm.
that's part of life, but especially in high school, it's at that time anyways, I don't know if it's different now, but at that time freshmen weren't allowed to be a part of drumline. And so I heard that coming up, and maybe I thought I had a chance, but our school was big enough. There's no need for a freshman to hop on the line. So I played
Mm.
vibraphone my first year.
Oh, no
Wow.
way.
Yeah,
Vibraphone.
Wow.
man.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love hearing
Fun
it.
ensemble. And that I'm back then I hated it, but I'm glad I got that experience because now I can pluck at a keyboard some, and there was mallets all throughout that time, but being in front ensemble, I had to dial in mallet parts by memory, and that's hard when you're on the fly and it's all these runs, and it was rough. It was rough at first, but it became cozy, and then next thing you know, I'm on fourth bass drum next year. So finally made it to the line. But
Wow.
high school was just really humbling. My man's was a year older, and I'm I want to play more of the stuff, but seniority was always keeping me down. So that pushed me to try to make it so there was no barrier, if you will. But, it never left. But I appreciate the fire because
Mm-hmm.
maybe I would have gotten comfortable, and I've been comfortable before,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's a nice place to be if you have it, but I've been comfortable in places where I don't have it, and back then there wasn't much room to be cozy. I was trying to fight seniority, or I was trying to figure out how this applies to that, or there was always something happening. So honestly trying to get back to that now.
Well, Michael Jordan didn't start as a freshman at North Carolina. I don't think he even started as a sophomore. So
Yeah.
it goes to show you there was something there. I remember when he first went to college, there was something about that. But so now that you play professionally, right? We asked this question to our guests that come on. What is it do you think that makes a professional drummer, in your opinion?
Oh, that's a good question. um a professional drummer is someone that carries themselves well, is the first, just being a professional person, but in the sense of a word, you're supporting yourself with that passion.
Mm-hmm.
So if you teach full time and you don't have to go clock in, I'd call you a professional drummer. If you're teaching drums that often, that much, and you play around town even, I'd say you're professional because you're making your living from that. That's pro level.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah,
I
I agree.
mean,
If you make a
just
living
being able,
from it, it's you're
yeah,
a professional.
yeah, just being pro doesn't mean knowing it all, but if you can support yourself with what you know, that's professional, and you carry yourself well. Again, be a good person, dress well every now and then. I know I'm not a good example of that, but I hope my attitude pushes past my dress. But just when you're able to life off of your what you call the whole time profession, that's when you're a real professional. Because
That's a
I
great
mean,
answer.
you can go all the way through life feeling like a pro, and telling yourself, you know, I'm gonna go pro, or I'm here now, or this is it. And then another level comes and it's like, oh wait, this is it. But when you're just able to sustain and you're comfortable, you're not wondering when the next anything is coming except the next check. That's professional.
What's with all the things you've learned in your career playing drums? If there's one piece of advice you can give your younger self, what would you say?
Um, what would I say? I would say that's a good question. Yeah, that's a real good one.
Yeah, it is, right? It catches you off guard because you got to think back. Is there anything I did that I regret, or is there anything, any roads you went down that you would tell yourself not to go down?
I would just say work a little harder.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
solid, man. Yeah.
I feel like the answer usually is like don't stop, because everyone has that down period where it's like I don't think I'm going to do this anymore, but I was thinking so long, and like I haven't had that. I've quite literally at one point was starving to play, and it's not like that bad, but you know, I didn't eat as much as I should have been
Hmm.
eating, and you know, it was in the name of not getting a 9 to 5, because I was
Hmm.
gigging just enough to at least pay the bills I had. But
Hmm.
I could have been working harder in any sort of sense to maybe get a couple more meals, you know.
Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I tell people all the time that it's really a game of resilience at the end of the day. I'm out here in Europe right now. We played Glasgow or last night, right?
oh,
And
yes.
we did the OVO Hydro, which is like,
Woo-hoo. Yes,
I don't know.
sir.
Have you done that one? Did you do that with Sleep Token? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, big ass room, right? The
Cool.
the last time I played Glasgow was right before COVID. It was like February 2020. And I found the venue that I played. And when I say the stage was 1 foot high, like it was a bar. It was literally a bar.
Oh
200 cap
man.
room.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so at the start of 2020, I was 30 years old. Or 31, I don't know the math, 29, 30, 31, something like that. And I had already been touring quite a bit, and I came out here and I toured in a Sprinter van, no drum tech, playing bars and a couple small clubs. And it was cold and it was miserable, and it was the hardest tour I've ever done. It was so brutal. I never wanted to
Cool.
quit more in my life. And then I come home and then COVID happens, and that really felt like it just sucked as if the life of hadn't already been sucked out of me. It really felt like, damn, like this actually might be over. Like I don't know if I'm ever gonna
Yeah.
tour again, whatever.
Yes.
But I just kept practicing and I kept practicing and I kept practicing and I kept refusing to take full-time jobs, and I was just working odd jobs and doing whatever I could. And then 6 years later in 2026, you get to play the arena down the street from the pub you played, and it's just like it literally is a game of not quitting. It's a game of just not giving up. So
Consistent.
Yes.
man, it's wild. And then
It's funny.
tomorrow,
Sorry to cut you off, dude. I want to play off on that because only a couple years ago, Xavier, remember when we met? He came out to a Dropout Kings show and we were playing drums out back. And I think he had like 15K followers. You were starting to like pop off on the internet. But I remember just thinking, this kid is going to like blow up and be one of the biggest drummers in the world and no one knows it yet. You
yeah,
remember that, right? And then you came on stage
Yeah.
and I
Oh
had you do a
yeah.
drum solo and the venue was flashing the
that's
lights telling us to get off.
Yeah. That was such a fun night, man.
And that was only a few years ago. And obviously you didn't give up. You just kept going. And like, look what comes of it when you keep going. Only a few short years later.
so tight, dude.
And like Anthony too, I saw that on your story the other day. You were like, last time I played Glasgow was this venue. Look, this is me today. And then it's a full arena of people. It's
It's
amazing when
crazy,
you just
bro.
stay consistent, man.
It doesn't make any sense. And then tomorrow we're doing the O2, the one I saw you play with Bill Murray before you and I met. Well, we've never
Oh.
actually met, but before we really spoke much, I saw you play with Bill Murray with Sleep Token. Because I was on a day, I was on at the very end of a tour that the UK dates got canceled. But the last time I played London was at the New Cross Inn, which is again just a bar. So
Oh,
it's really a game of perseverance. So all that to be said, if you weren't playing drums, I know this is a crazy thought because you've quite literally put it all on the line. But in some made up world, you're not playing drums for a living. What do you think you're doing for work? Like if drums just disappeared and you couldn't do it anymore, what do you think you'd be doing for work?
I'd be into technology and trying to figure out how to Twitch stream gaming.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. Oh, let's talk
Nice.
about gaming. What games are you into?
Oh man, it's been a while, but I like, let's genre base it. I like,
Sure.
first person shooters, basketball games, fighting games.
2K?
Yeah, yeah, I love some 2K.
I love
I'm gonna
2K, man.
Anthony's a huge basketball fan, so you guys would
Oh
probably
man,
rip 2K together.
I've gotta I'm gonna start saving here soon to get a P5 so I can start gaming a little bit more.
You
And
know, you
I'll
should
add you.
you have to do it because it's so funny you say that. I actually got rid of my PlayStation 4 a couple years ago because I was like I was just tripling down on drums. I was like, I need to practice more. I can't be distracted. Last year I had a great year. I toured like a psychopath, and on Black Friday I rewarded myself with a PS5. So I
That's
do officially.
that's right, brother.
I do have, and I had to get a new. My monitor was so old that it wasn't even worth. It was worth nothing. So I bought myself. I had to buy a new monitor as well just to even keep up with the PS5. But I'm back. So we're so I support that. Do that.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doc, I gotta ask you real quick because I know you were playing with Bill Murray recently. Now you're playing with Suicidal Tendencies. If
hmm
there's one band that you'd want to play for or fill in for, who would that band be? Your dream gig?
Hmm, that's a good question. Man, I don't know. I It's just always fun to play. It would probably be some jazz fusion something. I don't know,
Okay.
like Herbie or Chick comes back from the dead, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something crazy, free, but you can find the structure.
Is that your favorite genre to play? Would you say like some jazz fusion type stuff?
Yeah, I guess when it boils down to it, because in my opinion, jazz fusion can be anything. I mean, it can
Yeah.
turn into like Billy Cobham does double bass, like
Hmm.
so
Yep.
that's what we'd call rock music if you don't have horns and clean guitar behind it,
Hmm.
Right.
So yeah, jazz fusion at the end of the day is where my heart lies.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah. Um. All right. So you're on tour, right? What does a day off look like for you?
I'll sleep in, I'll then wake up, go, hygiene, all that stuff. I'll call my lady for a little bit and maybe go find some lunch, take a nap.
Shit, you're big
Then,
chilling.
yeah, man, I play, bro. Like I don't
Yeah.
hold any punches. I don't dare disservice anyone needing a healing or whatever they came for. My anything less than my best. So when I'm tired, I'm tired. So an off day, or what am I saying? I try to find where the sheds are a lot of times.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, that so my first answer is outside of calling my lady because I call her. That's like the best time to talk to her
Yeah.
when I'm off if she's not busy herself. So, but the first half of that answer is if I can't find where the sheds are. I'll try for hours, you know, upwards of half the day to find like where the drums are, who's hitting, what's
I love
happening.
that.
That's
But
so
like
dope.
In any city,
now
you'll be in Europe shedding with kids over there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's so
Man,
dope.
when y'all know, when you get the followers from around the world, like why not take the shot? You never know
Sure.
who's following you right there where you are. And like 8 times, no, I've met, everyone's been solid. So my experience is 10 times out of 10. But I'll say 8 times out of 10, they're not weird or trying to pry you for anything.
Mhm.
So it's worth a shot if you're able to defend yourself if situations feel hairy or anything. But like nine times out 9 times out of 10, people are nice. So I don't mind taking that shot, and I feel like I can defend myself well enough if things went south, but they don't. Drummers are
Yeah,
just trying to play some drums, and like
yeah.
oftentimes across the pond, shed culture isn't the same as it is here, and it's gotten weaker here. It's starting to get strong again, but over there, like so many cats are like, dude, we don't shed. This isn't a thing. Like we don't all just call the homies and come play some drums, and like life happens everywhere, but that's just it almost feels like it doesn't cross their minds often. So
Damn, I see. This is another one of those things that I wish I had growing up. I didn't grow up around any drummers, bro. I'm so jealous. I did not grow. By the time it's never too late, obviously. And this is, I'll be honest, I'm probably making excuses at this point, but I'm 35 years old. I'm not a sheddy type of drummer. Could I hold my own? Okay, maybe, but like I'm just too scared to be honest. I'm literally too scared. Like
It's
it's not even
intimidating.
past that. Like I've gone and done it with people before and it's been really fun, but I wish more than anything that when I was a teenager I was doing it all the time. Like I wish that was a
yeah,
part of my ecosystem or whatever.
It's
But
a lot
see,
newer
and
of a thing.
I I was lucky enough. I didn't grow up in shed culture either. I didn't get that until I moved away from home, more college days. But I had
mm,
my little cousin who would be over maybe every other weekend, or we were really tight, still are. And we would push each other. So I had enough drum equipment to make it so at at times we could shed, and like you might have the beat up bass drum this time, but we're gonna get it in. So I had him, and we would beat up on each other all the time. But as far as like the 5 and 6 guys to a room, I would look at that and dream right there with you. And me and my little cousin would look at those videos and be like, man, if we can get in a room with 7 people and 4 drum sets, that's
god
crazy.
damn.
And all the
It's
drum
so
sets are nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about just the idea in general of like, because I don't really know a ton about shed culture and like that whole thing, other than watching videos of like Thomas Pridgeon and Tony Royster Jr. way back in the day and all that stuff. But like,
Yeah.
and of course, watching it now, and now it's on Instagram, you can see it all the time.
It's
But
yeah,
like,
it's everywhere.
yeah, but what do you think about the idea of like, is it a competitive thing of like the idea of like maybe battle drumming or whatever, or is it just like a to do for fun thing? Are you trying to shit on people, or is it just like trading
That's
fours and having
hilarious.
fun?
Um, Everyone's take on it is different, but at least for me and my family of drummers, we're always just iron sharpens iron. And like
Hmm.
where the competitive comes in is like, oh, you just played something like that? Okay, I gotta try something now. Like it's never
Okay,
like you
okay. It's not
just
like
you
yeah,
yeah, no, it's never like negative anything. And like it can go there, but at the end of the day it's all laid out on the drums. It's but I haven't been involved in a shed where, and if I have, I don't know, because the way I play, it's especially in a shed setting, that's the only time we get to actually be free. Like whether you're really good or whether you suck, you can sit down and play whatever you want. And like, if you suck, maybe you won't be able to sit down as long. And that's not my word. That's just how the people usually feel.
sure, sure.
But you are not denied the opportunity to just go. So I'm not thinking about besting someone in this situation. I know what I sound like. I know what you sound like. I'm trying to match joy and energy, not what you just played, and like that comes with conversation. You know, you played this, I like it, I'm going to take the first half or the back half. That's neither here nor there. But if someone is just straight up chopping your head off, but you know you have something to say, match their joy, because they're
Mm-hmm.
having a great time. And usually they don't feel like they're chopping your head off. And after it's all said and done, you like, oh man, that was killing, Doc. That was. They're usually like, oh man, nah, that or I wish I could have, and dot dot dot. So like when it's all done, they don't feel like they chopped your head off, even though you just witnessed a full on guillotine session on 10 people by one guy. They don't feel like they did that. So
Yeah,
all you
I
have to do
understand.
is play with that same energy, and whatever you have in your bag, you're at the shed, whether you invited yourself or whether you were invited by others, you're there to do what? Play.
Play, right? Just have
So
fun.
like don't
Uh,
deny yourself your gift because somebody else is a little more honed or a little more, what's the word, prodigal.
sure,
Don't
sure.
let the prodigy stop you from your hard work. Your hard work sounds just as good and can sound even better in situations where you are vulnerable enough to let iron sharpen iron.
Right.
What do you like better, going playing a gig or going to a shed?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question now because I've played some venues that only God can bring me to with the places I've played in my life. So,
Yeah.
and it's not many, and like they're not the worst places, but like it really feels like a very fast jump from like dive to high five, if you will. Like at
Fact.
one point, it was always the shed over the gig, but the joy seeing like now that there are people at these venues that actually care to see whoever's playing and not like four-man jazz quartet and we're tucked in the corner and the only reason people pay attention is when we play a cover tune and not what we want to swing along to. you know I'd much rather be at the shed in that situation, but it's hard. That's a good question now because I've never had the opportunity to touch so many people at once, whether that be what we call 1,500 cap being small now to, I think the most I played is 20 something thousand, and it
Hmm.
only gets bigger from there.
Hmm.
That's a hard question, but I at the end of the day, I think the shed wins, man. It's just,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's a hard question, but as I duke it out fast, I'd much rather be in the shed with whoever wants to give their heart to these drums because those moments and what you choose to give there are ultimately what you're able to give to the people of the masses when you get there. So I mean, and that's not to say I'd rather be down there grinding. Like I'd love to be at the top all the time, but preference wise, the shed is free. There are no
Hmm.
wrong answers. There's
Love
nothing
that.
that you can play or that someone can play that's like whoa, unless it's just way out of time. And at that point, everyone's
Right.
like whoa, you know.
Yeah.
Trash. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's not, but like yeah,
But kind of.
that gets talked
That's
about out back,
that's
But
why we call this the Good Time Podcast.
yeah,
Um,
man. And like at the end of the day, in the sheds, everyone's there to help each other. Like
yeah, of course.
at the gig, you're there to help each other, yes, as a team, but like you can't nurture someone on the gig. You all have the job. You can
You have a
talk
job.
off
Yeah,
to the
it's a job.
side, but like we're already working and we're
Yeah.
all in separate fields. You go to a drum shed, if you're light years better than this guy and there's one digit of information you can give that guy to help him or her, like you're free to do that. And however they take it, that's not on you. Ain't that right, Tico? That's not on you. However they take it, that's not on you, but you're in a free space to help people get better face to face. And or if someone's like, hey, what was that crazy chop? If you don't remember, that's one thing. But if you remember, you're in a free space to share it with them. And now they're
Mhm.
better.
That's
Hey,
Well,
amazing.
that's not nice.
that's awesome. Okay, a couple questions that just popped into my head before we do a
Yeah,
couple
man.
like we do a couple quick bangers at the end of the podcast. But one quick one. The Suicidal Tendencies run you have coming up in Brazil, is this a headliner, or are you doing like festivals, or what's that going to be like?
It's like a headliner festival mix, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I was going to say you might eclipse that 20 something thousand. Fans down there are crazy, bro. Have you ever toured down there?
No, this will be my first time going.
That's a wild place, dude. It's fun. If I have any advice, dude, avoid. Obviously, people tell you not to drink the water, but like, be really careful with the catering. Okay.
Okay.
Avoid ice. Like
Really?
ice in a cup. Ice will get you. Like it's something you don't think about until like you get a cocktail with ice in it. You're not thinking about it, and then you can get
My man's
the food.
dropping.
Yeah, the food poisoning is crazy down there. And then on that note, there's the best thing you can do for the food poisoning is that like this might be TMI for some of the listeners, but I'm just gonna be real about this. That anti-diarrhea medicine, I'm blanking on the name of it. You can just get it over the counter pretty much anywhere. Take some of that with you, bro.
Imodium or whatever, right?
Imodium. That's what it is. Take some Imodium with
right.
you. I promise you, bro, you have to bring it with you because there is a 90% chance you're going to get food poisoning on accident. And that's the only thing that's going to save your day. So,
Yeah, we're playing
Tour
a
guide.
lot of shows.
yeah.
Suicidal is not the show to have to use the bathroom like that.
No. Bring some
Oh,
Imodium. And the second you feel that feeling of, those palm sweats, just start taking Imodium because that's the only thing that's going to save you.
I appreciate that, Doc. You're saving a lot of folks here.
Dude, I got one more question before we move on, Anthony, because we got a lot of comments on another pod about gear. So
Oh, yeah.
I wanted you to just like run over your gear real quick. What kind of drums you playing? What kind of cymbals you playing? And also getting your gear down to South America. Are you shipping your drum kit or are they backlining a kit?
Oh, well, I'm just running everything Pearl right now. I got the Masters Maple, um, Shimmer of Oz. That's the green kit, and then
Mhm.
for Suicidal, I've got the acrylic Crystal Beats, but
Oh,
it's
sick.
I forget the Finnish name, but it's the more brown ones. It's like
It's the
The smoke one?
the
yeah,
smoke, the
the smoke
tobacco
one.
smoke, or what is it
So
called?
Yeah,
sick.
Smoke.
yeah, I got that, and but for this run, it's gonna be backline. I'm just bringing my cymbals and shout out Meinl.
Mine symbol.
What I'm taking to this is I've got a dark 21-inch dark Classics Custom Crash, Classics Custom Brilliant 18 Trash Crash of that same size and family. 10-inch Classics Custom Splash. I got the 21 Pure Alloy Super
yeah.
Bell Ride.
Hell yeah.
That thing is a beast, dude.
14 or 15 hats.
14 Extreme Metal Classics Custom Extra Heavy
Mhm.
Hammered.
Nice.
On
They
the
just
gear trail.
beat
Wait, when do you leave again?
today.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I need to
Yeah.
get you. I need to make sure you have some rock locks for that, but I guess it's too late. Take some
No,
with you.
I've got let me if they're in here.
Did I
Shout
send you
out.
enough
Xavier's
last
a
time?
rock box artist, by the way. Shout out.
Yeah, last time I sent you some. Did I send you enough?
Yes, they're
If you ever need more, just hit me up, man. I have you.
they're
I got you.
scattered across my drum globe. But
Okay, that's all right. Back to the gear real quick. I did have one question. What made you start putting impact patches on the toms? What started that?
Yeah.
What started that trend?
it just helps with it helps me save my heads. I play hard, and oftentimes I'm playing, barrel tip sticks, so
Oh, yeah.
they
They're
dent
bent.
a little
Yeah.
faster than Acorn,
Mhm.
and the
Why do you
patches
prefer?
I was using.
Why do
Oh,
you
go ahead.
prefer the barrel tip?
It's a rounder sound to my
Mhm.
ear. Um, the Acorn is great, but the barrel just across the board, it brings out a type of articulation that's not too sticky, but it's
Mhm.
still defined.
I
Very
like that.
cool.
I'm going to try that.
Very cool. Dude, well, you've inspired the hell out of me. I love your joy for the instrument. This has been so awesome, man. Like I feel like I already can't wait to get home and practice because I've been out here for 2 months, but now I really can't wait to get home and practice. But before we finish this up, we're going to do just 4 quick questions to end the podcast. You don't have to think about it too much. Just give us your gut instinct. So I'll kick it off here. Yep. What's your favorite part about touring?
Being able to share the love and gift with people who, feel like they may need it.
That's
or
awesome.
just come to have a good time.
All right. Now to flip that coin, what's your least favorite part about touring?
Having to use the bathroom and not being the artist, so you can't really call the rest stops.
I feel that.
That's so real.
That's a great one. That's a great least favorite thing about tour.
In your experience so far, what city has the best crowds?
Nice. Golly, I would have to say, I think New York goes pretty hard every time.
Hell yeah.
New York, man. Yeah.
Let's go up in my
Place,
neck of the
man.
woods.
Yeah, man. Y'all rock and roll, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, all right, what do we got? One more. All right, how about this one? 3 dinner guests, dead or alive.
Dang, that's a good question too. I'd eat some dinner with probably be a cold dinner, but I'd try to eat dinner with Miles Davis. Who else is in the function there? That's wow. Got to think of all the heroes, and you only get 3.
You only get 3. It could be family. It could be anybody.
Yeah, Tony Williams can come to dinner.
Oh yeah.
He can come
Gotta
to
have
dinner.
Tony.
I'd love to hear what he's saying, and then y'all are good. There's just so many people that could potentially be a good hang.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got 2 really good ones so far.
And maybe dinner with Prince. All
Ooh.
of them in the same room.
Damn. Prince.
Miles, Tony, and Prince.
Tony and Prince is a crazy trio. That would be
Over
awesome.
In and Out.
That's a lit dinner table, bro.
The nitty gritty.
What a great way to end the podcast. X, thank you so much for your time, man. Be safe
Of
in
course.
Brazil and South America, wherever you're going. Congratulations on the new gig, man. We're looking forward to
Thank
seeing videos of your playing. I'm about to go watch some Shiprocked videos and see how that panned out, because I remember I did the same thing. I played those 2 shows. You just go out on the boat, you get to play 2 shows, whatever. It's the same. But man, you're a killer drummer. You're an inspiration to all of us. So thanks again. Thanks everybody for listening to the Good Time Podcast. Leave a comment for what you want to hear about next time. Any questions you have for us. Go to Spotify, Apple Music, leave some 5-star reviews. And that's all.
Subscribe on YouTube as well. Thank you, guys.
Subscribe on YouTube. Yep.
Yeah.
Doc, it was great talking with you, bro. You're the GOAT, man. I love you.
Oh, man. Love you too, Doc. I ain't the GOAT, brother. Just love drums, man.
He's humble.
All right, man. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Of course, man.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace,
All
guys.
right, later.